Great to have all of you here. Great to have people joining us online in our online community as well. As you know, last weekend we began a brand new series that we're really excited about called Called Up. We are all being called up from the minor league to the major league. God's calling us up to a higher level of our true self, to be used by Him in our world to make the world a better place. I'm glad you're here today as we continue this series. One of the foundational verses that we're using comes from Job 10:8, and it says this: God's hand formed and shaped me. So if you weren't here last week, you need to hear this. If you were here last week, you need to hear this. As a reminder, you are shaped by God. The acrostic of the word shape, see if you remember. The S stands for spiritual gifts. The H stands for, okay, Kathleen, you can stop. H is heart. A stands for ability. P stands for personality. E stands for experiences. That is the way God's hand shaped you. And Kathleen, Pastor Kathleen, you get an A+. So in a moment, we're going to talk about the H in the word shape, because this is one of the most important aspects of who you are, the way the Creator designed you, and that is your heart. Another word for heart is passion. Passion. And we're going to talk about that today. God wants you to be more like you and less like other people. On Judgment Day, God's not going to ask you, why weren't you more like James? But He might ask you, why weren't you more like you? The world needs you to be you. And your heart expresses you more than anything else. So let me tell you something about two of our pastors here today. They are very passionate heart people, and that is Pastor Joe and Pastor Lydia. So Pastor Joe, tomorrow it is his birthday. Can we give it up for Pastor Joe? Happy birthday! Got a few pictures, Joe. This is the little man right here. Can we put it up on? That's him as a baby being dedicated. Look at Joe. So cute. Woo, whoa, what is that, Joe? And then I think we got one more. Yeah, that's really good. That's over at the Red Sea and the Dead Sea. It's the Red Sea, Dead Sea over in Israel. Anyways, that was very pretty of you. Pastor Joe, we love your passion. We love your heart. Lydia also, as you know, is a very passionate heart person, just comes out in everything that she does. And today is her birthday. Happy birthday to Lydia. We got a couple pictures, I think. Let's throw them up on the screen. Yeah, there's Lydia when she's a baby. And look at that hair. Oh, my gosh, she's so cute. And pause there just 1 second. Just look real quick. That is me and Lydia when we got married. She was 16. I was 19, and I should have been in jail. That's true. I think we have one more picture. One more picture? Yeah, okay. So here's the deal. Today is not only Lydia's birthday, it is also the 40th year anniversary of when I got on my knees and proposed to her in marriage. On her 16th birthday. So here's my song. Here's my song for you. You ready? Here it is. You're 16. You're beautiful and you're mine. You're 16, you're beautiful and you're mine. And listen, it's a good thing your daddy said yes. That's all I got to say. Now the Rangers in the parks are very passionate people about everything we do. In fact, this last week we went to my granddaughter's volleyball game, and I mean, we almost got kicked out of there. We were so loud and crazy, and I caught just a little bit of video. Let's look at it. Watch this.
I'm going to have a heart attack.
Layla girls volleyball game, and Pastor Joe, look at Joe. Careful. Talk about passion. I mean, we were almost kicked out of there. They're like, yo, shut up, you know. When we talk about your heart, your passion, what are we talking about? God the Creator created you with a unique set of ambitions, desires, longings, passions in your heart. And they're uniquely you. Have you noticed there's certain things that you are passionate about that other people go, what is that? How many of you are married to anybody like that? I am. There's certain things, for example, I have a passion for bass fishing. I will get up at 4 a.m. and I will get ready. I'll get on the water by daybreak, and I will be out there 8 hours trying to get that big fish because I'm passionate about bass fishing. Lydia, on the other hand, You are not going to get her up at 4 a.m. to go fishing. And you're not going to keep her out there longer than maybe 30 minutes to catch. If she's catching fish, she might stay out there a little bit longer. Why? What's the difference? The difference is we have different hearts. On the other hand, if Lydia goes to the mall, she's fishing for a trophy, and she can stay there all day. I mean, 8 hours doing that. I walk in, literally, I go maybe once a year. I go for 30 minutes, and she's like, hey, isn't this fun? I'm going, when can we leave? Okay, is it time to go yet? What's the difference? The difference is the different hearts that God placed, the heart, the passion, the ambition that God put in all of us. Proverbs 27, verse 19 says, let's all read this out loud. Ready? Go. It is your own face that you see reflected in the water, and it is your own self that you see in your, catch this, it is your own self that you see where? In your heart. It's revealed in your heart, your passions, your ambitions that God puts inside of you. The passions that you have are uniquely placed there by God. Now, this is why this message is so important to you. And ironically, this is why I'm so passionate about passion. Because your heart and your passions are going to lead you to your hobbies, to your career. It's going to lead you to what kind of person you ought to marry or ought not to marry. It's going to lead you to the ministry you need to be serving in, where you need to be volunteering and making a difference in your community, in your church, in your world. Your heart is kind of like the internal guidance system. It's like the Air Force. The United States Air Force has these bombs that are called the smart bombs. They're smart because they have an internal guidance system. In fact, this week they just bombed ISIS, and you could see it happening. But these missiles have, it's computerized, internal guidance system. Somebody on a computer is guiding this. They can literally guide it right into somebody's living room or into a basement. Here's what your heart is. Your heart, your passions given from God, it's what's going to guide you if you follow them. It's going to guide you to where God wants you to be and to do. And it's going to be different than where other people go and what they do, because they have different passions, different hearts, different internal guidance system. That's why this message today is so vital to every single one of us. That's why the Bible says in Colossians 3:23, whatever you do, work at it with all your, whatever your hands find to do it with all your heart. So I have a question for you. Are you working in a job that you're working out of your heart? Are you serving in a ministry? Are you volunteering in an area where it's your heart that's being revealed through what you're doing? It's really important that we do. And the way that I know that I'm living, I'm serving, I'm working out of my heart, my passions, are three characteristics. And you'll see them every single time. Here's the first one. If you're taking notes, the first one is enthusiasm. Enthusiasm. I'm going to get pumped up. Your heart is going to be full of joy when you're doing what you're called by God to do. I told somebody just this week, I said, I've not had this much fun in ministry and pastoring in maybe a decade. We're in a season of transition and reorganization, and man, my lead game has just gone to a whole new level, and it's harder work and all that. But I just said this week, I said, I've not had this much fun, key word. If you're serving out of your heart, it's going to be fun. Now, it's going to be hard work, but it's kind of like these musicians. How many of you think the musicians and singers and these artists and media people, don't you think they do a great job around here? Don't they? But do you know most of them have been here since 6 or 6:30 this morning? Man, do you know how hard it is to get an artist out of bed at 4 or 4:30 a.m.? Most of them go to bed until 2:30 a.m. But what I'm saying is they do it because they love it. They're passionate about it. They're enthused about it. Here at this campus, there's a lot of enthused volunteers that are making a difference. For example, Maria Lopez. Are you in the room, Maria? Is she here? Hey, stand up, Maria, real quick. Maria Lopez, let me tell you what's so beautiful about her. She's the one who puts together the coffee at this campus. Can we say thank God for her? And she loves it. She started at what, 7:30 this morning? And man, she's got the job already, and all of us are saying, thank you, Maria, thank you, thank you. And she does it with a smile and passion. A guy named Ron Cochin. Is Ron in the house? Okay, is he here? Ron, stand up. How can I miss you? Look at this guy, right? Hey, Ron, let me tell you about this guy. Ron's on my church council, helps run the business of the church, but also Ron is a servant behind the scenes here. He's been doing it for 10 years. But you know all those baptisms we did last Sunday? Fantastic, right? But you know those pools had to be put up and filled up and then taken down. Guess who did that? That's a man right there. Can we say thank you? He's also part of the patio team along with Steve and these others that set up and tear down every single Sunday. And let me give you one more shout out. Angelina Ramirez. Is Angelina in the house? There you go. Stand up, Angelina. Hey, this girl, she loves to help people come into wholeness and restoration. Very involved with our freedom ministries and helps Pastor Denise and part of a pastoral care team. And when somebody needs a meal, there's a family in need, guess who's the first person to cook the meal? Right there. Can we say thank God for Angelina? Here's what I'm saying. They don't do it because they have to. They do it because they want to. There's a passion in their heart to make a difference in the world. Ecclesiastes 2:10 says, my heart took delight in all my work. Everybody say delight. You got to get that. You got to get this, man. I got to take delight in what I'm doing at work. I got to take delight in what I'm doing and serving out in the community and volunteering in a ministry at church. I have to take delight. Why? Because if I don't, that's spiritual. If I'm doing it out of drudgery and, okay, I have to if you say so, or you're going to guilt me and shame me into it, there's no spirituality in that. God wants you to delight in what you're doing. It's not it's not something I got to drudge through and drag on through. I delight in it. I enjoy it rather than endure it. Enthusiasm, it's a powerful thing. If you're following your God-shaped heart in your job and your ministry, it's going to show up with enthusiasm, and you will succeed. Emerson once said this. He said, nothing great was ever accomplished without enthusiasm. Emerson said, nothing great was ever accomplished without enthusiasm. I got to have my heart full of passion and enthusiasm. Another characteristic, if I'm serving God out of my shape, my heart, my passions, is effectiveness. Effectiveness. When you do what you love to do, what you're passionate about, what God shaped you to do, you're going to get good at it. By the way, when you get good at it, a lot of times you'll be paid good for it. But you would do it if you got paid or not. I was told this 30, 40 years ago by a mentor friend of mine. He said, James, just get good at what God's called you to do, what you love to do, and you won't have to worry about the paycheck. And that's absolutely the truth. Find the thing that pumps you up, that gets your heart beating faster. Do that and do it well. And over time, you become effective. And you'll give God the most glory. By the way, don't you think God is a little effective at his job? Yeah. I think he gets an A+. The sovereign of the universe, he's kind of running the thing pretty good. And do you think God is passionate? Man, a lot of people think God's just like this old gray beard and he sits in the sky and, he's anemic and he's pathetic and he's just waiting for the end of the world. When God is just anything but that. God is full of energy and emotion and life, and he's full of love and compassion and passion. And by the way, he's also at times angry. He gets ticked off. Just read the Bible. By the way, if you don't get ticked off every now and then about something, I'd check out your heart. Is it still beating? Because there's certain times in life when something's wrong, our hearts should get a little angry about it. Say, no, that can't stay that way. We are people of passion. We're like our God in heaven. God wants us to be passionate because then we're going to be effective in life. People of passion, of God-given passion, change things. Everybody look up here just a second. Let me tell you something about you. If you're a passionate person, people are never neutral about you. They'll either love you or hate you. They're either going to be drawn to you or they're going to run from you because you are not neutral. Your favorite color is not beige. You kind of are black and white sometimes, and this is what I believe, and this is what I don't believe. You're a passionate person. When you become full of passion, you change things around you. Think about in the Bible, Moses was a man of passion. He says, I want to lead the people out of 400 years of slavery into freedom, into the promised land. And he did. He was effective. And David says, I want to build a temple for God. Nehemiah says, I want to build a wall around the city of Jerusalem. Jesus Christ, you talk about passionate. It was passion that brought him from heaven to earth. And then when he's 33 years old, at the prime of life, passion is what drove him to the cross. It caused him to say yes to being crucified. And that's why we call that week from Palm Sunday to Easter, we call it what? We call it the Passion Week. It is the passion of Jesus that drove him to the cross. Why? Because he wanted you to be right with God forever and ever. It is passion that drove him to the cross and raised him from the dead. You're talking about being effective. Let your heart be full of new passion and new energy, and you will find effectiveness in your life. I mean, I love history. How many of you love history? How many of you just like history? How many of you don't care about history at all? Okay. Okay, cool. I tell you enough for you. Here's the truth. I read it every day. I do. I study history. And I can tell you this about everything I've studied in the world, in the church, and in the Bible. I'm going to tell you right now. It's those people that get lit up about something. They get fired up about something. They get passion because they want to see this change. You want to see that happen. That life happens for them. It's Gandhi. It's Lincoln. It's Washington. It's Martin Luther, the Reformer. It's Martin Luther King Jr. It's Mother Teresa. It's Margaret Thatcher. It's Amy Semple McPherson, who started the Foursquare Church. It's Lydia Ranger. I mean, it's people of passion who change the world. Here's what I'm saying. You may not be able to change the world, but you can change your world, your neighborhood. We can change our city. We can change our community of faith right here when we're full of passion and we bring it to bear. Listen, I just feel I need to say this. Some of you, you've been attending New Life for a while. You've got so much gifting, so much heart and passion that we need. We really do. And some of you, you just, and it's not to condemn, it's to challenge you. It's to challenge you. You've got what this church needs. And God is today saying to you, it's time to get in the game. Take that, what burns you inside, that passion, and I want to make a difference. Something where maybe God's changed you in the past. Now you're walking in freedom, or maybe it's in business, or maybe it's in recovery, whatever it may be. God is saying, I want you to take that same passion and bring it to New Life Church and begin to serve and make a difference. Because, friend, we need you. We're not what we were supposed to be without your passion and your energy and your effectiveness. 3 characteristics of living my heart's desire: enthusiasm, effectiveness, and excellence. Excellence. Wow. What is excellence? Is excellence perfection? Excellence isn't perfection. Excellence is doing the best you can with what you've got. And when you're living out of your passion, you're going to be a person of excellence. Right now, I want you to listen to the story of a New Life couple who serve in our amazing food ministry that are absolutely living out these 3 characteristics. Let's watch.
I've been serving in the food ministry probably around 4 years.
And I started a few months after he did. It was going to be his opportunity to serve, because I serve on the worship team, and so we wanted to get him involved. And so, but man, a few months into it, he would come home. He was so excited about it, and just it's so awesome, and you wouldn't believe the people and the people we get to work with, and the people we serve, hundreds of people, and it's so amazing. Yeah. So it was just contagious. He was so excited about it. I'm like, well, I have to go, and he's like, well, you don't have to. We got plenty. No, I need to go. I need to check this out.
When I first started, my first person I met, and he pointed me and says, "You look like a big guy." He says, "Let's put you right here loading pallets." And I've been doing that exact same thing for 4 years. And I love it. I just love it, and I love what we're doing for the community. I don't think there's any other ministry like this, a working ministry like this. When you see families old people that can hardly even walk themselves up to get their box of food, and we even have to help them load it in their cars. There are people in need out there. I just feel that we're just doing a tremendous thing for the community, and I'm just so happy to be a part of it.
From the moment I started, the people that we serve, I've talked to some of them that have actually just broke down in tears and their stories, and to know that we're filling one of the most basic human needs. To give back, to serve, it's
No greater
everything.
reward.
There's no greater reward. If you're grateful for what you have, if you
Share it.
appreciate what you have, you need to share that. You need to give back. You need to share the love. That's what being a Christian is all about.
Everyone knows their strengths, and if you have that gift, share it. You'll have no greater reward to share your gift with others.
You know, that little voice that you hear,
That you're
you
not
know,
good
that,
enough
that
to do
you that you're not good enough. Kick that to the curb and just go for it. This church provides so much opportunity for you to use your passions.
I wanted to serve in some way, but I didn't know what to do. And I looked around, and nothing really interested me until this. I really feel I have a heart for this, and I really feel this. Some beautiful people that work in this ministry.
Woo! I want to get practical with you for our remaining time, so just take these notes really quick because I want to bring us to prayer because that's where it's going to happen. How to live by my heart's desire. First thing is commit all my life to Christ. Commit all my life to Christ. Why is that? Why is that? Why do you need to commit all of your life to Christ first? Because who is it that gave you those longings? Who is it that gave you the passion, the drive, the heart? It is the Creator. It's God. It's Jesus Christ. He put that inside of you. And here's what I know. If our hearts are not submitted to God, our hearts can become perverted. Our hearts can become wasted. Our hearts can become distorted. And you just have to look at history and see there was people who started off with passion and energy, and then it got it wrong and wrong. It got really wrong. And then you look at somebody like Adolf Hitler. He's a man of passion who changed the world for bad. I got to submit my life, my all to the Creator, to Jesus Christ. Psalms 37:4-5 says, seek your happiness where? Seek your happiness in the Lord, and He will give you your heart's desire. Give yourself to the Lord. Trust in Him, and He will help you. Do you see the reciprocal blessing? Seek the Lord, and then He will give your heart's desire. You need to give to God your heart, give to the Lord your life, trust in Him, and then He will help you. He will pour into you new desires, new passions, new dreams. But it starts with you committing your life to God. I've watched this happen again and again at New Life Church. People who walk through the doors and they don't know Jesus, and they come into this fellowship and they come into a relationship, and all of a sudden they get full of passion for life. All of a sudden they're lit up again about life, and they're serving, they're making a difference. What happened? They found Jesus. See, if you run out of steam, if you run out of energy, you run out of passion in your life, that's an indicator, and I'm speaking from experience. That's an indicator I got to get back closer to Jesus, because Jesus is full of passion. And He put you on earth to be connected with Him, to be full of passion, to make a difference in your world. The second thing, jot this down, examine what I enjoy doing. Examine what I enjoy doing. What is it that is not a drudgery and I don't endure, but I enjoy doing? Let's read together Galatians chapter 6, verse 4. Ready? Go. Each one should judge his own conduct. It is good. If it is good, then he can be proud of what he himself has done without having to compare it with what someone else has done. Isn't that beautiful? If I'm living out of my shape, out of my passions, my heart that God's given, then I don't have to compare myself with anybody else. I have to live for an audience of one. Listen, passionate people don't listen to the critics very much. Have you noticed that? They're basically looking up to heaven saying, what do you want? Because there's always voices down here saying, who do you think you are? I want to tell you from experience that as a pastor, I know it's hard for you to believe, But I actually have about 25% of the crowd on any given Sunday who thinks that I can do no wrong, ever. And I love you. I love you. Then I have 25% of the people who think I can do no right. Not in this congregation, not here. That's at the Southwest. And then there's 50% of the people that's neutral. They really don't care either way. But you know, I can pay attention so much to the negative critics that I can begin to influence that 50% that's neutral to go negative. Or I can listen to the positive people over here and then influence the 50%. Here's what I know. On any given Sunday, the Dallas Cowboys are going to play and they're going to lose or win. They're probably going to lose today. They won last week, la-di-da-di-da. What I'm saying is some of you will pray for the Cowboys to win today. Some will pray for the Cowboys to lose today. God can't win. Because somebody's going to say, God, you didn't answer my prayer. Here's what I'm saying. Be you, do you, get full of passion, follow your dreams, and don't listen to the critics. Paul says, then you don't have to compare yourself with anybody else. You be you. Like I said, on Judgment Day, God's not going to hold you accountable for who you weren't. In other words, well, you weren't more like James. Or you weren't more like Lydia. But he might say, why weren't you more like you? I made you to be you, and if you're not you, who's going to be you? Commit all my life to Christ. Examine what I enjoy doing. Explore my options. Explore my options. Now, this is where we're sure enough going to get practical for the next 2 minutes. Proverbs 23:23 says, get the facts at any price and hold on tightly to all that good sense you can get. How do you get the facts? You get the facts by exploring possibilities. So I'm going to help you now. Today, I'm challenging you, as your pastor who loves you, wants the best for you, I'm challenging you to find your passion, your heart, and to live out of that and serve out of that and volunteer out of that. Make a difference out of that, okay? How do you do that? Here at New Life, we have a class called Connect 3. It's going on right now. But you can sign up for that, and I'm telling you, it's not just a nice little class. It is vital to your spiritual development. Commit to going through it next month. Or Pastor Joe and Kathleen are doing what they call a fast track on September 29th, on a Sunday after church. You can stay over to feed you pizza. Pizza. And you can go through all of these classes, get them all done at one time, but it's going to equip you and train you. Another thing that we're doing here at New Life is what we call Enneagram. We talked about it last week. Some of you started it. I've done it. Lydia, all of our staff's done it. You got to do this. All of you need to do this. It takes 20 minutes. It helps to bring some awareness to how God's wired you up. November the 23rd, we're going to be doing a workshop. November 23rd, we're doing a workshop. It's going to transform some of our marriages. Promise you. It's going to help some of you to learn your children better. November 23rd, you don't want to miss it. Another thing I want to say, and this is important. If you want to explore different options, start hanging out with people of different passions. Now, because I know a lot of you in this room, I know a lot of your stories. I know there's certain passions that you have, and they're different than others. Some of you are passionate about this, some of you are passionate about that. But here's what I know. If you get around, start hanging out with people of passion, and then finally that one person walks in the room and they say something about what's their heartbeat, and you go, whoa, and all of a sudden your heart beats faster. That's Jesus talking to you. You want to hang out with that person. You want to be around that. It's kind of like with Pastor Joe right now. He is lit up about men's ministry. Helping guys, seriously. I mean, he has been bugging me for 6 months about that. I mean, just come on, James, we got to go. Let's go. And I love that. And I want to be around that because I have the same passion. Because here's what I know. If we can get the men of New Life Church fired up, growing in their faith, growing with each other, we are going to start a spiritual revolution in this house. God is going to do great things when all of us guys bring it. So I'm with Joe. So I get around him and he gets me fired up. Here's what I call it. Listen, I call it the hot poker theory. The Bible says iron sharpens iron. The hot poker theory goes something like this. You take that poker, you put it into the coals of the fireplace, and it's cold when you first put it in, and all of a sudden, those coals start heating it up, and then you pull that out, it's red hot. What happened? It got close to something that lit it up. I don't know, I wish I could say this in a better way, but I'm just telling you how I feel it. These days, and I've said it again and again, I am on fire. I feel passion in my soul. Again, the Lord's just lit me up about the cause of the church and about this beautiful church called New Life Church. I am on fire. And when I see somebody just kind of, whatever, I run. Or say, Pastor Joe, you got to go pastor that person. I want to be around people who are on fire for God. Around people who are lit up and passionate and full of spirit and life. And if you're not, just get around me for a few minutes, because maybe, it's a hot poker theory. I will light you up. Because here's what I know. Jesus has brought all of us into the kingdom for such a time as this. The end of the age is coming. Christ is coming back. We get the opportunity to make the biggest impact in the end of days. You and I right now, this is our time. This is our day. It is go time. And so I'm bringing it. I'm asking all of you to bring it. Because we're making a difference in our city. We're making a difference in our neighborhood. This church being here is making a difference in this part of the city. Passion makes all the difference in the world. The last thing is this, jot it down. Step out in faith. Step out in faith. God is challenging me. God is challenging you today to step out in faith. I hear the Lord say to you what he has said to Joshua. In Joshua 1, let's put up on the screen, Joshua 1, verse 9. Be strong and courageous, New Life. Do not be terrified. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Don't be terrified. Don't be scared to move out in faith. For your God is with you. And you're never more fully alive than when you move out of fear and you take that step of faith. Listen, if you want to walk on the water, you got to get out of the boat. God is calling some of you today to get out of the boat. Oh, but James, it's comfortable in this boat. It's safe in this boat. I'd rather just come to church and hang out and do my duty, check mark, and then come back next Sunday. No. Listen, that ain't enough. That's not enough. God has called you to this house. I want to tell you something the Lord showed me last week. I had a young man come up and tell me. He said, James, I was going to get baptized, but then I realized, I'm still a sinner. I don't have my act together yet. Listen, here's what he told me. I would love to serve in the church, but I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. I got to wait until I get all my stuff together. Then I'll step up and start serving and making a difference, volunteering. And I said, oh, dude, you missed it. I said, I'm a sinner. I'm a sinner. You see this? I'm not an angel. I'm a man. Man who has to depend on Jesus the Savior every day of my life. But God's not worried about my past. He's worried about my future. God doesn't care where you've been. He cares the direction of your feet right now. And I'm telling you, somebody is just, I don't know who you are, but some of you, you're holding back. You're holding back. You're not jumping in. You're not getting in because the devil's lied to you and said you're not worthy. And you got to wait until you get this all fixed. Well, guess what? When you get that fixed, you're going to have something else that God's going to allow you to work on in your heart and your life until you get to heaven. God is saying to you today, I'm calling you up. I'm calling you up into a higher level of you and a higher level of being used by me, the divine. I want to use you. I want you to make a difference with the way I've shaped your life. Let's lead with our heart. Because it's let's put the last sentence up on the, this is very important, all the way to the end. The secret of a fulfilled life. Find out what I love to do, what God made me to do, and do it for God's glory. Here's what I see. I'm wrapping it up, I really am. I want you to get an image in your head, because this is what I see. In the springtime, when the rose bushes first start putting on their buds, what do they look like? Are they in full bloom and beautiful and flowery? No. What do they look like? Just a closed, green, hard shell thing, right? You look at that. How much glory does that give the Creator? Not much at all. But when that flower begins to blossom, and then all of a sudden you see the pink or the red or the yellow, and you can smell it. You go, oh man, that's so beautiful. Do you know what that rose is doing? It's giving the Creator glory. Listen careful. For some of you, you've been closed for too long. You've been waiting. And it's a shell. It's hard. It's, because of hurt or pain or failure. I don't know what it is, but you've been closed off. And I hear the Lord say, I didn't say this at the other service. This is for today. This is for you now. God is saying, now's the time. It's time for you to shine. If you're a singer, sing. Don't you be holding back that music. If you're a writer, write. You got a fantastic, fun personality, become a greeter out front. We need those people. If you're not fun, don't do that. We need media people. We need sound people. We need teachers for our youth and our kids. Listen, you've got something and God is calling you today. Don't stay closed. A few more spins, this is over. Do it now. Now's the time. It's no time. Do it for His glory. So on Judgment Day, He will say to you, well done, good and faithful servant. Amen. Let's pray. Bow your heads, close your eyes for a moment. Holy Spirit, I just bless this moment. Holy Spirit, only you can do in this moment what needs to be done. Giving dreams and visions, awakening desires, awakening stuff, Lord, that we've allowed our heart to become closed off. Let there be, Lord, the opening of that rose today. That the aroma, the fragrance of our gifting and the shape of who you made us be, let it be a delightful thing to the world. Man, I can't tell you how strongly I feel this. Some of you just been waiting for this moment. This is it. Where the Spirit is just giving you a nudge. And pursue. You stop pursuing that career because your heart got closed off or hurt. You jumped out of the game in the church. You stopped serving because you got hurt, or you got tired, or whatever it may be. And the Father is saying, by His Spirit, I feel it so deeply. I'm calling you up. I'm calling you up. If you've been healed from drug addiction, it's time for you to help somebody who's dealing with addiction. If you walk through a divorce and the Lord's helped you through that, it's time for you to help somebody who's walking through that. For some of you, God's put a passion in your heart to help other men to be men of God, or women. You're a woman of God and you just want to help other women to find their place in the kingdom. Listen, go for it. If you're a singer, sing. If you're a writer, write. If you're a preacher, preach. I want you right now in your own way to say yes to the Lord. Man, the world is waiting on you. This church is waiting on you, and Jesus is waiting on you. I want to ask you just in your own way to say yes to Him. Yes, Lord, I say yes to the call. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I'm saying yes to this new season. It's go time, and I'm saying yes, Lord. For some of you, the key is you got to get close to the passion giver. The passion giver. And that is Jesus. Jesus the Messiah. The passionate Christ who left heaven to come to earth, to be born of the Virgin Mary, to die on a cross, to be raised on the third day, to go back to heaven. And he says, if you believe in me, you shall have everlasting life. That's passion. And Jesus loves you passionately, and he wants to forgive you, give you power, and give you passion for life, and he wants you to spend eternity with him forever. I want to lead you in a prayer right now that will begin that journey with nobody looking around, with every head bowed. If that is you, I'm not going to ask you to come down from it. On the count of 3, I'm going to ask you to look up at me or raise up your hand. And it's saying that I'm going to pray with you. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Just raise up your hand. Let me see your hands all over the room. Good. Beautiful. 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 I see you. I see you in the back. Beautiful. You can put your hands down. If you're watching out on the patio, you can put your hands up, or if you're watching online, you can pray. I want everybody here to pray this prayer from the bottom of your heart. Let's pray together. Say, God in heaven, I ask you to reveal yourself to me. Show me how much you love me. You showed me how your furious love for me by giving your son Jesus. You passionately love me. Jesus, you died for my sins, for my forgiveness. So from today forward, I put my trust in you. And I want to be closer to you every day of my life and throughout eternity. Help me live the life of purpose and passion you created me for. In Jesus' strong name I pray. Amen. Amen. Come on, New Life, let's celebrate.